these 11 players have they're facing today. This is Sergi Dar there on the ball. Cabrera squaring it to Sergi Gomez. Vidal quickly out to Melenda, who goes down for a free kick, brought down by Dani Ceballos. Bruno, obviously the big occasion in the Bernabeu is going to be Wednesday night with the second leg of the semi-final of the Champions League, but good atmosphere today. The fans expectant there'll be a celebration party when the 90 minutes are up.
Yeah, you can see there was a different atmosphere from 4 hours before kick-off. I'll wait for Marco Asensio to finish the attack.
Asensio collecting that one, squares it across the face of the area. Chase back for Rodrigo. Ceballos, side to Camavinga, gets the return ball. Madrid showing for this. Back to Marcelo. Camavinga. It's a mature presence for a teenager in his first season at the club. It's Camavinga again. Rodrigo, lovely footwork, tries to cut back to Marcelo. It's blocked by Sergi Dar there, and the clearance is well played out. Here's Melenda. Now Vienna. He's got Raul de Thomas outside him, takes a shot, it takes a deflection. He apologises to the goal scorer. But Espanyol win their first corner of the game.
You can see clearly Espanyol should, quite rightly, have enthusiasm for taking on this unusual back four of Real Madrid. So when they get the opportunity to break, you know, Vilena, Dada, Yenga Herrera, Melendo, Puado, Raul de Thomas, got the quality to trouble the back four of Vasquez, Vallejo, Casemiro, and of course Marcelo.
Corner swung in. And plucked out of the air by Thibaut Courtois.
That was impressive airspace there from Courtois, wasn't it? That looked miles above the crossbar.
Oh, lovely ball from Modric. It's really well defended by Aleix Vidal. It looks as though Rodrigo might be away there, but he picked the ball off his toes cleanly. Raul de Thomas. Dade. Melenda finding Vidal. Of course, Espanyol beat Real Madrid earlier in the season. On match day 8-2-1, the goals came from De Thomas and Aleix Vidal. Karim Benzema pulling one back late on for Real Madrid, and Casemiro being given a bit of a talking to by the ref. Bruno, we'll go back to you. You were telling us about the atmosphere pre-game and the expectation that Real Madrid will lift the trophy this afternoon.
Yeah, as I was saying, it was a different atmosphere when we walked into the stadium 4 hours prior to kick-off. Normally, there's not that much going on outside the Santiago Bernabeu. Today, though, there was already a lot of people together outside in the bars, just preparing for this game. And you could feel there was a festive atmosphere. Even inside the stadium today, there was applause for Modric when he went to take the corner, applause for Ceballos when he made a run down the wing. It seems to be like there's one of those days where they can play towards the gallery for the Real Madrid players and really enjoy themselves, because the fans are going to applaud absolutely everything you feel.
Well, Modric, the man who cleared the Espanyol free kick. Melendo leaving that for Sergi Gomez. Everybody, it seems, as Bruno says, enjoying this, except perhaps for you, Terry, who are terribly concerned that Luka Modric is out there and in the thick of things so far.
I always enjoy watching him play, though, Simon, so it's
out of the air.
It's always a pleasure to see him out on the pitch. But it's a good, impressive airspace there in Espanyol. They're attacking in numbers, they're keeping possession, just trying to suss out the opposition in Real Madrid, because it's an unlikely starting 11. The cohesion won't be there from Ancelotti's team. He'll just be relying purely on talent. with his starting lineup today.
Puado failing to get past Vallejo, but it's a loose return pass from Marcelo, and another corner for Espanyol. Javi Puado was so close about 5 years ago to joining the Real Madrid reserve side before Espanyol insisted that he stay up in Barcelona. The second corner for the visitors. Melenda and Sergi Darder. It's a short corner, driven in low by Darder, took a semi-block by Rodrigo. Vienna losing out, and before Mariano can take possession of the ball, it's one back and played back to Diego Lopez.
Well, I think the early signs, Simon, 10 minutes in, Espanyol are here to do their very best, aren't they, and not be part of the party atmosphere and the celebrations at the Bernabeu.
Yes, Ronaldo Tomas, RDT, Camavinga with the challenge, throw into the Periquitos. Puello leaves it, and it'll be Leandro Cabrera. The long throw back to Calero. Calero pings it out to the waiting RDT, brings it down nicely. Dummies a left-footed cross, swings a right-footed cross in, too firm. And there's a chase for Aleix Vidal that he's never going to make. RDT raises his hand in apology, goal kick.
It's always a dilemma, isn't it, for Espanyol when Raul de Thomas is out wide crossing the ball. They wished they had another Raul de Thomas in the box. So if they can get him in the penalty area and get the likes of Puado and Melendo and Vilena and Vidal getting crosses into the penalty area, that will serve them better. But he's a player that likes to roam, drift, run into the channels, go attack from wide positions as well. But he's had a sensational season again for Espanyol.
Well, it's RDT himself who forced Lucas Vazquez back. Casemiro squares it to Thibaut Courtois. It's Camavinga. Floats a long ball forward where Asensio brings it down. Lovely footwork from him to get away from Vilena. Tries to link with, and does, with Rodrigo. Well, it was a lovely touch from him down there. It's a short corner across to take the resulting corner. Takes it quickly, finds Modric. Modric finds Ceballos, flicks it in towards the far post where Casemiro was waiting. And Mariano puts it off the post there. And out of almost nothing, Real Madrid have just fashioned the clearest chance of the game so far. And it all came, or started, with the boots of that man. Modric, who finds Rodrigo once more. It's another corner. Modric with the in-swinger, collected comfortably by Diego Lopez. Cutting a very lone figure, Javi Puado there. Coming together between he and Lucas Vazquez. Puado's through, cuts it back for the arrival of Raul de Tomas, who can't make any progress against Camavinga, but he does win a free kick. Camavinga perhaps unnecessarily tugging his shirt back. Fabulous break down the left from Puado there, Terry.
Yeah, fabulous football. I do like seeing a tussle between two players. There we see Camavinga and Raul de Tomas. Here we see Modric living the ball into the penalty area, and Ceballos hopefully lifting it towards the far post, and hopefully hoping that Casemiro is going to head it back across goal. Sergio Gomez does well, Fernando Calera does well in the defensive situation there against Mariano Diaz, because for a split second it looked like it was going to be a free header for the Real Madrid striker, but excellent defending from Calero. Modric there, showing his tenacity. Stopping Alex Vidal. It's as you'd expect, the game has started in attacking fashion for both teams. Not too much pressure on either of these teams today, despite Real Madrid just needing a point to win the league. They have got 5 games to do that, including this one, of course.
Just 1 point required to mathematically become champions. Darder driving that one in. And flicked on from the D of the penalty area. Goalward by RDT as we watch Dani Ceballos it was who moved the ball over the top to the far post where Casemiro was able to link with Mariano. Literally hit the target, but failed to get it inside, and the ball bouncing back off the post. Ceballos on the ball. Modric trying a little flick. It was well blocked, however, by Vienna. And RDT going down, play continuing. Marcelo on the ball for Real Madrid. And there's one over the top. The advantage was for Diego Lopez. Melendo struggling and losing possession. Marcelo quick to set Camavinga free. Nice footwork, although he nearly tripped over the ball himself. Marcelo leaving it for Modric.
Excellent play from Dani Ceballos there, wasn't it? How sharp he got back into position and showed that aggression to win the ball back as well. A player who's really playing for his future at Real Madrid. He's had some injury issues this year. Ancelotti has praised him and given him opportunities whenever he's been able to. Of course, we know he sticks pretty much with Casemiro, Modric and Kroos, and then backups in Camavinga and Valverde. But Ceballos is a player of genuine quality. Mid-20s now, would want to be playing regular first-team football somewhere. And he'll be hoping, of course, it's here at Real Madrid still.
It's like you say, Terry, the midfield trio that Ancelotti has, it's difficult to break into. And for a player like Ceballos, you have to be saying, well, be patient, because Modric isn't going to be with us forever in this midfield. Toni Kroos, pretty much the same situation. But then, as you say, you know, he's sat out practically the whole of the season. Just 1 or 2 appearances in this last month, usually coming off the bench. And there's no clear-cut line of inheritance of a role at a club like Real Madrid, is there?
No, of course not. And, I think Dani Ceballos, a player like him, can be forgotten. We've seen his qualities in the past with Betis. He had the long period at Arsenal, and now he'll be determined. And you know, he'll have to make a decision soon as well. Does he want to be a fringe player, or does he want to go and play somewhere else and play on a more regular basis? But today, by the looks of it, he's trying to show Ancelotti and Real Madrid what he's capable of.
Camavinga floating one over the top of the defence. It's too firm for Mariano. Quickly played out by Diego Lopez. Ángel Herrera finding Sergi Darder, and Cabrera returns it to the keeper. Gets the ball straight back. Such a gutsy, busy little player. Melenda in midfield. He receives the ball now from Sergi Darder, picks out RDT. Tony Villena back to Cabrera. Here's Ángel Herrera to hold off the challenge of Mariano. Melenda flicks it over the top. Villena's on the overlap, keeps it in play, puts the cross in. Mariano heads clear. Sergi Darder knocks it back, and it's brought under control nicely by Ceballos once more. Applause from the home fans. Mariano not quite applauded for that as he gives it away. Darder finds Alex Vidal. Calero in turn linking, but Marcelo was quickly in with a firm challenge. Throw into Espanyol, who were looking quite lively.
Yeah, they're very much so. It's got good flow to the game. Espanyol finding a little bit more time and space because of the lack of synchronisation from the Real Madrid midfield players, a midfield that haven't played together that often.
Here's Raul de Tomas, brings it under control, supported by Aleix Vidal. Yankel with a cross, it's dealt with by Lucas Vázquez nicely. He finds Modric, and Lucas, continuing the run, gets the return ball. In the end, it's given away. It's been a relatively successful season on their return to the top flight. Espanyol, we mustn't forget, they were promoted from the Spanish second division La Liga Smart Bank just last season. They're halfway through the table, 39 points, job almost done. Their only concern really, Terry, has been their form on the road. They've only picked up one victory so far all season away from the RCD Stadium.
Yeah, I think Vicente Moreno will be pleased. His team have never really been.
RD2 with the shots, stinging the gloves there of Thibaut Courtois, who palms it away into the path of Lucas Vázquez. Firmly struck effort from De Tomas.
They've never really been involved in the relegation issue, have they?
No.
Espanyol this season, so I think it's satisfactory from Vicente Moreno and his team. They can build on this.
The question is how easy it's going to be for them to hold on to a player like Raul de Tomas. He's stayed with them, of course, in the second division.
You've seen Bahia, isn't it, with a really good attempt. There's Courtois getting the cross. Takes no chances.
Modric back to Camavinga. Ceballos. Marcelo having a little set to there off the ball with Melendo. It's Camavinga. Intelligent ball from Ceballos again. Luka Modric. There's the header from Mariano, and not too far over the crossbar. Applause from the fans, applause from Luka Modric. It's one of the best Real Madrid attacks so far.
Yeah, excellent play again from Modric with a final delivery into the penalty box. Slightly gets it off cue, doesn't he? Mariano Diaz there. Again, Ceballos involved, Marcelo, lovely pass from Camavinga to move the ball on quickly to Modric. That was the secret in that attack.
Modric gets away from Yankel, combining with Lucas. Now Asensio. Camavinga thinking about a shot. The precise moment just got away from him there. Well defended by Cabrera. Dani Ceballos inside to Camavinga. Marcelo, what a joy it's been to watch him over the years, especially in terms of his attacking play. The ball over hit for Rodrigo, it'll be a goal kick.
He certainly has had his moments, Marcelo, hasn't he? And here we had Mariano Diaz with his third attempt of the game. But Marcelo, it's his 16th season at Real Madrid, joined in 2007 on New Year's Day. We know what he's about, fantastic attacking left back. He's been a wonderful player for Real Madrid and won a title, a trophy or two during his period at the club.
One or two, Terry, one or two, yeah.
He's 23 now, isn't it? 24 if this is successful, which it's going to be, of course. Takes him above Hento.
Here is Marcelo, and in all that time, Terry, you've very rarely seen without a smile on his face as well, which is why he's one of the most popular players around.
And why wouldn't you, Simon, play for 16 seasons for Real Madrid and winning on average more than a trophy a season? So outstanding career, and yeah, it's been a joy to watch.
Camavinga brought down by Yankel. It'll be a free kick. He takes it quickly, picks out Ceballos. Camavinga, Modric. Casemiro finding Ceballos again, and in the end Marcelo and Rodrigo failed to hold on to that. Some lovely skills to play out of trouble there from Gomez. Here's Villena. De Tomas taking on Lucas. Drives it low, comes out to Sergi Darder. Darder tries the shot, it's blocked. There are just too many bodies between he and the target. Marcelo. Courtois clears with the left foot. Straight at Ángel Herrera. Drives it in low, and Puado just unable to bring it under control. Here's Villena. De Tomas. Melendo.
Really expressing themselves, aren't they, the Espanyol players? They're enjoying that time on the ball because, as I made the point earlier, the midfield trio is completely different. The defenders of Real Madrid are completely different, so there's not that cohesion when they go to try and win the ball as a unit. Individuals are doing it at the moment. We've seen Dani Ceballos in particular and Modric running around closing people down, but it's not being done as organised as it normally would when you've got the normal midfield 3 or 4 and the normal back 4. So Espanyol taking full advantage of that today.
Villena with a cross to the far post. It's dealt with by Jesus Vallejo, and Camavinga heads clear, but still Espanyol continue through Aleix Vidal. Melendo. Well, they're in no hurry. Certainly enjoying perhaps more of the ball than they might normally expect to see in the Bernabeu. As RDT finds Cabrera. Dard there back to Gomez. And Calero eventually to Vidal. This is Melendo. Long possession from the visitors. Sergi Darder pings it out to Raul de Tomas. Villena. De Tomas, it's a stretch for Darder. And Dani Ceballos, well, you might feel that he'd been fouled there on a couple of occasions, but he kept to his feet, kept control of the ball, and the referee allowed play to continue. Luka Modric for Real Madrid.
Yeah, good strength from Ceballos and good balance as well. And again, rather surprised to see Raul de Tomas playing in that wide left role, which he continues to keep finding space in. I just wonder whether it'd be more advisable for him to play in more of a central role.
Casemiro to Marcelo. Camavinga back to Vallejo. And here's Lucas Vázquez. I saw the little run by Modric, who tries a cheeky back heeler to return it to him. It comes to Lucas, he cuts it back. And Melendo collecting it on the edge of his own area and tries to play it out to Villena. It's Casemiro who comes out with the ball under control, the cross to the far post. Rodrigo should keep it in play and does. Now Marcelo joining the attack. Going to try a shot. Comfortable for Diego Lopez.
Yeah, this attack starts because Casemiro's getting bored playing at centre-back, so went back into midfield, wins the ball back. Eventually the attack ended with that attempt from Marcelo.
Well, it's relatively fast-paced, the opening 30 minutes here in the Bernabeu, and Espanyol have enjoyed a couple of good spells, but they've also been put under threat by Real Madrid's attacks. There have been a couple of fairly clear-cut chances, especially from Mariano Diaz.
Yeah, I think that's been the case, isn't it? so far in this match from a player who doesn't play much and not at his sharpest, not at his most confident.
Casemiro winning the battle there with RDT, plays it back to Courtois. Under pressure from Puado, he finds Marcelo. Here's Jesus Vallejo. Casemiro again. Camavinga. It's out to Asensio. Squares it to Modric. Asensio, meanwhile, is down. And he feels he was fouled by Leandro Cabrera. Referee Munuera disagrees.
We'll see on the replay here. Yeah, it looks like a clear body check, doesn't it? Doesn't look like Cabrera's making too much of an attempt to get out of the way. I'm not saying he should, but I think he makes more of an attempt there, clear attempt to block Asensio. And there we see Mariano Diaz attempts at the far post. He's had the header that just went wide, and maybe the half chance where his shot was blocked. But he's being busy, being industrious, and he will get service from his Real Madrid teammates today. It's just a question of whether he can take one. And he's shown in the past he's more than capable of finishing off that type of opportunity.
Ancelotti looking on calmly as usual as Cabrera takes the throw for Espanyol. Melendo flick over the top to RDT, just misread it, and it's Real Madrid's throw taken quickly by Lucas. Here's Casemiro on the ball, picks out Vallejo, back inside to Ceballos. Camavinga, Modric. Still Modric. It's Asensio. Lucas. There's Vallejo. Now Dani Ceballos. And this is Rodrigo. Well, dispossessed there by Angel Herrera, who sends it quickly down the line to Melendo. He's aware of the arrival on the overlap of Alex Vidal. It's really well defended by Vallejo, gets a ringing round of applause from the Bernabeu, and that'll do him the world of good. Dani Ceballos. Vallejo again. His last start, Terry, was before the pandemic, and he's had a pretty tough ride of things. Didn't quite work his loan spell at Wolves, and he just found it almost impossible to break into the Real Madrid defence.
Yeah, you would think he would be one of those that's future is...
Oh, here's Rodrigo, there it is! Rodrigo Goes, set up superbly by Marcelo. It's an all-Brazilian combination. Real Madrid take the lead. Look at the celebration there. Luka Modric and Marcelo, the two veterans out there leading the side.
Control despite being challenged by defenders in the penalty area. It's a lovely spot from Marcelo to get it back to his teammate as well. And Rodrigo again with a really good finish, because you can see he's being closed down there by two players of Espanyol, Sergio Gomez and Cabrera, and he finishes it with power and with real accuracy.
Well, if there's one thing Rodrigo has, and we have noticed this since he arrived at the club simultaneously with Vinicius Jr., he's got a really good finish. He's got goals in his boots.
Yep, no, and I think he's
goals in his boots.
Yep, no, and I think he's going to be a player that's obviously going to flourish. You can see the talent is obvious. Still only 21 years of age. But he's a super young footballer. He's one of those players at the moment, when I say he's going to have a bigger impact and flourish, I mean in games in general. He can be accused of being quiet in matches. I nearly said, just before that goal, he's been quiet today, but that's what he does. You know, a quiet spell for a 21-year-old is not too much to worry about when you burst into action, burst into the game like that and show that skill and quality, and he's doing it in big matches, big occasions. And a big occasion today might be the goal that wins Real Madrid the La Liga title.
Dani Ceballos on the ball for Real Madrid. Casemiro picking up Luka Modric, who just got involved in a bit of a tussle there with Sergi Darder on the byline. And Bernabeu really has found its voice. Bruno Ancelotti will have been delighted with that.
Yeah, and it was Casemiro with an interesting celebration.
There might come a second as Mariano drives through, just loses control. The defence get it away. It's Calero with the final touch. It'll be a corner for Real Madrid. Go ahead, Bruno.
I was just going to say, when that goal was scored by Rodrigo, Casemiro on the centre line went kneeling down onto the turf, face down onto the grass, almost like a celebration that you expect in a 91st or 92nd minute. He's a player that's won it all, and he's done so on multiple occasions. And that just goes to show the value that he does give winning a league championship. Just because this team is used to winning titles, it doesn't mean that they're just going to come out here and say, okay, it's another title. You can see that someone that's done it all. He's won Champions Leagues, he's won La Liga titles before, but he knows how difficult it is to win over a 38-game period. And it really, you can see in that celebration from Casemiro just what it means to a player of his stature to get his hands on yet another La Liga title, if of course this does end as it is going right now.
Well, we're just seeing once again Rodrigo Goes and his perfectly executed finish to give Real Madrid a first half lead. Marcelo with the assist. Just awaiting the Espanyol player who's down. I don't know if you can fill us in, Bruno.
Well, I can tell you that Adri Mbarba is warming up. The player that's down could be Javi Puado. I can't see Javi Puado inside the area of all the players that are getting prepared for the corner kicks. Obviously, as he's down, and I can only see his legs, I can't really make out who it is, but it does seem that it could be. No, Javi Puado's up on his feet. Ooh. Well, I can tell you that Adri Mbarba is warming up, so we're having a serious look at this potential injury.
It's Sergi Gomez who's down, who appeared to take a knock in the face in that defensive manoeuvre, just which led to the corner. So unless Moreno's thinking about changing things, Terry, I mean, Mbarba wouldn't be the logical man to come on in change the place, would he?
Tactically,
going back to four at the back. But Gomez on the sideline seems to be recovered, is asking for permission to come back in. And meanwhile, Luka Modric prepares to take the corner with the Espanyol defence at a bit of a disadvantage, and very nearly finding themselves 2-0 down.
They just switched off a little bit there, Espanyol, with the slight confusion. Modric whips it in, there's meant to be a near post touch from Rodrigo. Doesn't really get the connection he was desiring, but again it was close for Real Madrid.
Darder sprinting away from Camavinga, or trying to. He does well to find Melendo's got Aleix Vidal sprinting down on the overlap outside him. Here's Vidal. Return ball to Melendo. Aleix Vidal once more. Here's Melendo. His cross is blocked, and it's Rodrigo. Is it Mariano? Mariano took that one straight in the face, and the referee would wear that very quick to halt play and to get the medical staff on. It is Rodrigo. He went down immediately, Terry. This is something match officials are very, very aware of. Any potential head injury, and play stopped immediately, and that one struck him firmly.
Yep, as Melendo's trying to whip the ball in with some pace. Rodrigo is there to close him down. It's important for Real Madrid in the context of this game to defend the one-goal lead just prior to half-time. It's been an open game, but they do have the edge at the moment over Espanyol. So important that he goes out, closes that down, tries to block the cross. And in doing so, he's picked up the injury there.
Well, the medical staff just checking with Rodrigo Goes, who's on his feet, which is good news, but he will have to leave the playing surface as the medical staff make absolutely sure he's fine to continue. Bruno, any other further reaction from the Real Madrid dugout?
No players came out to warm out, so they were just waiting to see how Rodrigo was after that knock to the head, and now that the Brazilian's back in play, no movement from the Real Madrid dugout.
Well, Vienna failing to communicate his intentions clearly to RDT there. And it's a goal kick for Espanyol, for Real Madrid. Into the last 5 minutes of the first half, Rodrigo makes his way back onto the playing surface. The corner taken short to Courtois, hasn't had too much to do so far. An early shot from Raul de Tomas that he palmed away, and once again a stoppage, and it's cards out for Mariano. The referee clearly indicating he felt there was an elbow involved. Yellow card for Mariano Diaz.
Yeah, one of the tougher central defenders in La Liga. There's an arm across the face there, though, and there are some referees that might look at that differently. VAR might decide to look at that differently as well. He does lead with the arm, he does catch Cabrera with some force. And a challenge like that could possibly do some damage to an opponent.
Well, play has continued. Here's Javi Puado. Vienna leaving it for RDT. Darder gets it back from Herrera. There's RDT. Sergi Darder. There's lack of penetration when Espanyol gets to the edge of that final third. Herrera tries the shot, drags it wide, goal kick.
Yeah, they get to a certain part of the pitch, don't they?
It's almost like an invisible barrier there, just about a metre or two outside the Real Madrid penalty area.
And that barrier isn't there, is it, for Rodrigo and Marcelo?
Exactly.
Moving the ball quickly, great close control, great skills, and an excellent finish from young Rodrigo.
And Terry, you were suggesting a few moments ago maybe you're a little bit disappointed that RDT isn't putting a bit more pressure on that untested and untried central defensive pairing of Casemiro and Vallejo.
Well, you can see that the attacks from Espanyol predominantly come down the left, and that's the position he's occupied.
Well, there's an easy giveaway for the second goal of the game of Rodrigo Goes. 2 minutes before the half-time break, Real Madrid double their lead. They were gifted that one by some poor defending. Ángel Herrera with his head down, Marcelo celebrating, the Bernabeu on its feet, and the La Liga title is ever closer.
Well, considering they only need the draw, they're in pretty good shape at this moment in time. You can see Vidal on the ball here. He's looking at his options, plays it into Ángel Herrera. You're not going to get that time. Mariano Diaz does well, the Real Madrid striker, to work to win the ball back. And then when they pounce Rodrigo, we'll see the quick 2 or 3 touches again. That's excellent work from Mariano Diaz, and it's taken over. The action by Rodrigo, drop of the shoulder. And that drop of the shoulder, most players would be going for the goal to the goalkeeper's left, which is where Diego Lopez is anticipating the shot going. Because he has that little bit of composure in that split second, he wraps his foot around it, puts it in the other corner, and there's no chance for the very experienced Espanyol keeper.
Well, Rodrigo Goes gets his second, Real Madrid second. We're nearing the halfway mark of this game as Harry Puado battles to get beyond Vallejo. Courtois cannot avoid the corner, and Espanyol will have an opportunity to at least put some pressure on this Real Madrid defence.
You see there, we talked about Espanyol and their progressive play, but very little attempts on goal. I'm not convinced all of the ball went out there, but nothing too much to concern Real Madrid and Courtois are there.
It's a high floating in-swinger. Ardenti struggles to bring under control. He finds Sergidad there. Can find the incredibly safe gloves of Thibaut Courtois. 3 minutes have been added due to the various stoppages that we've seen. Fortunately, the same 22 players still out there, but there have been 2 or 3 fairly lengthy stoppages. Marcelo on the ball for Real Madrid, and a festive atmosphere in the Bernabeu as Vallejo finds Marcelo and gets the return ball.
Vị trí của cầu thủ mang áo số 19 bên phía.
Modric was well intercepted by Vidal, but he could only knock the ball along as far as Asensio. Marcelo takes over from Rodrigo. Marcelo enjoying himself out there. So too's Modric, and it's Rodrigo again with lovely movement. He tries to play in Mariano, who I don't think was quite quick-witted enough to respond to that lightning-fast little pass from Rodrigo. Meanwhile, his RDT defended by Casemiro. Lucas Vasquez helps him out. Frustration for Raul de Tomas.
Yeah, he looks a little bit despondent there, doesn't he? His team have played reasonably well. 2 brilliant attacks from Real Madrid.
It's Mariano again. Well, just a bit too firm for Modric, but he does keep the ball in play. And this is something Real Madrid have had all season, the ability to do not too much during games. Marcelo drags it wide, but they will suddenly hit you with a little burst of activity, get plenty of white shirts in and around the rival penalty area and do you serious damage.
It all comes down to quality, Sam. That pass for the outside of the foot from Luka Modric, and when you have that quality and they play at the pace, moving the ball about quickly, whoever you are, today it's Espanyol, you are chasing shadows.
Yeah. Well, as we near the half-time whistle, they're very, very nicely set up indeed for the celebrations which we expect to follow in about an hour's time. Meanwhile, it's an Espanyol throw-in. Presumably this will be the last action of the first half. Melendo, such a busy Bernabeu, we're rerunning some of the first half highlights in this game from matchday 33, Real Madrid against Espanyol, and this moment of, I guess you call it, goal poacher's grasp of the opportunity. Mariano just whipping the ball off Yangel Herrera's toes, and Rodrigo Goes doing the rest for his second goal of the afternoon, the goal that's put Real Madrid 2-0 up going in at half-time. Remember, they just need a point from today's fixture against Espanyol to be proclaimed champions of La Liga Santander 2021-22. And Rodrigo Goes, with his first half brace, has done a lot to bring much closer that moment when Real Madrid of Carlo Ancelotti are proclaimed champions. Terry, it's almost impossible to see any other result than a win and collecting the trophy this afternoon over the next 45 minutes.
Well, certainly Espanyol will want to do better. There are periods in that first half where they were quite impressive. They certainly showed that competitive nature, that determination and desire to compete against a much changed Real Madrid starting 11. But it was just two moments of sheer brilliance from Real Madrid in terms of how they built the goals and how they constructed the goals. The build-up between Marcelo and Rodrigo for the first goal was excellent, and Mariano Diaz with fantastic work to win the ball back quickly off of Yangel Herrera, and then Rodrigo Goes just takes over from there with another stunning finish. And as you can see here, the probability of scoring there for Rodrigo. That one's towards the far post, towards the left of Diego Lopez. That was the first goal, and the second one when he just whips it with his right foot back into the other corner. So for a 21-year-old, he's showing super talent, and really importantly, the composure needed in front of goal to make you a special player. And Rodrigo will be hoping he goes on to be like that for Real Madrid and win more titles, because there's no doubt they're going to win this title today.
This is the first goal, the one we've just seen with that score percentage stat. He was just got a bit of a nudge from Yangel Herrera in the process. This is the second goal, of course. A lot of players, I can't help thinking, would have maybe gone down there and looked for a penalty instead of finishing it off, as Rodrigo did so brilliantly. Yeah,
you look at his attributes, he's not the biggest, but he's strong. And he has that balance that you need when you're taking on defenders in positions like that, attacking the penalty area. But the way he rolls his foot over the ball, the way he drops his shoulder, the skill levels were absolutely sensational. And then the finishes at the end of it. You see so many players have all those skills and attributes, and they panic when it comes to the final touch and the final finish. But he's shown now on the number of occasions that he's capable of scoring goals on a regular basis. As we say, still only 21 years of age. We're blessed with so many good young players playing now in La Liga.
Well, the second half underway. Bruno Bergareccia pitch side. Can you please put Terry Gibson's mind at rest? He's so concerned that Luka Modric is still playing. Any signs at half-time that there might be an imminent substitution?
Well, it's not positive in that sense, because there was not a single substitute, neither from Espanyol nor from Real Madrid, warming up during the half-time interval. So not a great deal to look at during that break. And a couple of players now are starting to come out to warm up, but they're Espanyol. See Adrian Barba once again coming down to the touchline.
Well, in the tunnel just ahead of coming out for the second half, Casemiro and Luka Modric shared a really heartfelt hug there. They seem to think job done, although I'm sure Ancelotti's insisted that there's still 45 minutes still to go. Carlos Casemiro picking up a yellow card in his rather unexpected role at centre-back. Unexpected for him, I guess. I mean, with Alaba nursing a knock ahead of the second leg of the Champions League semi-final coming up on Wednesday. Militao and Nacho out suspended. Casemiro was the obvious choice to play alongside Jesus Vallejo, he himself making his first starts for the first team in almost 3 years. And Casemiro's given away an early free kick that could well offer Espanyol an opportunity to claw the way back in. Well, Courtois, I think, had it covered. The shot not far off target from Raul de Tomas.
You see the second similar foul from Casemiro there. That time it was punished with the yellow card. Both on Raul de Tomas. He takes on the responsibility. If it's within the frame of the goal, I think Courtois saves it there. But there's still work to be done from Real Madrid. They don't want to slip up. They don't want to turn what's a really good performance so far in the first half, turn it sour with just losing their focus in the second period. So I expect to see more of the same from Real Madrid. I expect them the defensive players to be taking pride in trying to keep the clean sheet. And of course, Courtois will demand that.
Well, free kick given for the challenge by Vallejo on Javi Puado. And he can complain to the referee, but the foul is fairly clear. And Sergi Darder there looks like he'll be the man to put the ball in play from the set piece. Toni Kroos and Karim Benzema warming up for Real Madrid. Pressure maybe Benzema, 41 goals in 41 games so far this season. And that was very close indeed to being an own goal from Mariano Diaz. Just got the block on it, and he's trying to look calm there, isn't he? As if to say, oh, I knew that was going on.
Well, it was a strange reaction because he ran away as if it was going to be a goal kick.
He almost might have been wheeling away, about to celebrate having scored, I think. Problems for Mas.